How would Roohi be? Roohi would be Stree's crazier sister, in a way.
Yeah.
So that's the only similarity. I was not sitting with them trying to say that, listen, we're getting X money from digital or we can go OTT. The meeting was, we are releasing in theatres and what's the fair solution?
Hi guys, this is Himesh and welcome to Pinkvilla. I have just seen the trailer of Roohi and trust me, you are on for a spooky, adventurous and humorous ride in the cinemas on March 11. And to discuss the film, we have the producer, Mr. Dinesh Vijan, and the writer and creative producer, Mr. Mrighdeep Singh Lamba. Welcome to Pinkvilla, sir.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
So, coincidentally, if we look at it, 12th March 2020 was when Angrezi medium released and it was the last major Hindi film to arrive in the theatres. And now 11th March, exactly 365 days later, we see Roohi. So, how do you see this development of being the first and last major film in the midst of this pandemic?
That's just a coincidence, but I hope this one gets a longer run. That's the only thing I'll say. I think things are normalizing. You're here, and we're here doing an interview, which has not happened in so long. Some sections of the schools are open, the trains are on, people are going out. The government has done very, very well in, normalizing and controlling the pandemic. We're at pretty low numbers. And I think, people are done sitting at home and watching a film. Actually, I know I want to go to a theatre and watch a film. And I feel like you've seen the trailer and hopefully everyone else will see it. It's the kind of film that would be a lot of fun to watch together, right?
True, yeah.
So that's the idea.
So, this film is a part of the horror universe that has been created. But like I was speaking to Mrighdeep before the interview, that he had started writing the film much before the release of Stree. So what was the entire idea of bringing this genre together when the writing process became much before Stree?
So see, Mrig has his own world, which is called Roohi.
Correct.
He has to not take the pressure of the universe.
Okay.
The universe will conspire to include him in it.
Okay.
So he's the master of his own world and he was making this film. So we started writing it. He came with the idea way before Stree. And it, the way is, how would Roohi be? Roohi would be Stree's crazier sister, in a way.
Yeah.
So that's the, only similarity. But it is a very nuanced and a layered film. It's got a film, you take home something, and the pressure of the universe is not on this film. The idea is each film has to work on its own and then it can be taken forward.
Correct.
So the attempt is to first for you guys to love Roohi, and then obviously the films will start connecting and we'll do larger things with it. But initially it's like baby steps, like how the love Stree got, hopefully Roohi brings back people into the cinema.
Correct.
And and so on and so forth. So that's step 2. First is Roohi loving the trailer, loving the film.
We have seen the trailer and Roohi has a very different vibe from Stree.
Yeah.
And like you said, you started writing it much before Stree. But after watching Stree, as a writer, did you have to incorporate any changes, to give it a distinct identity, or was it?
So me and my co-writer, and in fact we had not seen Stree. Stree was kind of ready. You were done with shoot. So we made it a point not to see Stree while writing this. So we took it as an independent film. We took it as an independent story, and just finished it with that one instinct that I usually follow while writing my other stuff as well. So it was just that, and he was there to basically to judge or to guide whether it's falling in that category of Stree, where how far it is, and so we deliberately made it a point that we shouldn't watch it, and in fact, like he did offer that. Being in the same office, that acha edit pe hai, you can watch it. But we made it a point that we'll watch it once it's released and once we are also done with kind of a draft and kind of a story.
At least the whole story. So the natural tone game doesn't get affected. You're not suddenly conscious of what's working there and stuff. So they wrote the first draft independent of Stree. I'll tell you what's different and what's similar is, yes, you laugh and you get scared.
Yeah.
True.
That's the similarity. But the tonality, the kind of humor, the kind of characters, like you said, our biggest victory is you saying that it's quite different and yet it's interesting.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Yeah.
So I think that if that's happening, that's a good thing.
True. And I believe your first plan was to make a trilogy of Stree, if I'm not wrong, irrespective of the horror universe.
No, it was because Roohi was already done writing before Stree was releasing. So the whole idea was that, so we're doing a film called Munjha, which is the prequel to Stree.
Okay.
Who was that girl who came? You know, which goes on floors in September.
Okay.
And post that, in next year's Stree sequel will come. So first we'll tell you who was that girl who came there, and what are the other complications she's brought for these boys, and take that forward. And then she'll start interacting. The films will start interacting.
Okay.
So it was not. All of them will have their own independent world in which they will operate, and then they'll meet each other, because they're horror comedies. Like we're starting a film called Bhediya, which is a monster comedy in that sense. So that will also find a way, but they need to all individually first make their presence felt,
correct,
before becoming part of something larger.
Universe. And Roohi was ready much before the pandemic happened, and I'm sure holding it for 1 year there must be a lot of challenges to hold it for 1 year. And there were so many offers from OTT, so many films went the OTT way. What kept you, what kept your conviction alive that this film should arrive on the big screen?
See, as Maddock, we've been built by theatres, in the sense that, all our films have performed better than expected. So, a large part of our success is owed to theatres. So, as Mrighdeep says it in a very simple line, we owe it to theatres. So, we did discuss it. Last year was not just bad for us, it was bad for the whole world.
Correct.
Right? So, but the years before that were very, very good. So sometimes we just felt that this film should be enjoyed on the big screen. It was something as, the gut call, and like he said, we owed it to theatres. And I feel they've been, they just saw the trailer this morning, and, we've been in conversation. After it becomes 100%, we are the first major release. So in that sense, I think this is a film which all of us will want it to do well, because the film business has so many ancillary industries, right? It's entertainment journalism, it's multiplexes. So I think to get the wheel in motion again, we all have to play a big part. So we are playing a small part to put the film out there, and now hopefully all of us together can take it home.
At any point of time, you had 3 films ready, that is Roohi, Mimmi and Shiddat. At any point of time, were there thoughts in your mind to unblock the capital and
Of course, it's natural to have a thought that paise andar kar lete hain. Lekin my whole logic was that we were in the process of editing. So let's edit, let's see. Then at one point we considered, should we do it? And then just andar se ek awaaz aati hai. We were like, no yaar. And we didn't do it. So I would love to say that we really contemplated and we said, the factors, there are 2 parts to it, right? One is the financial.
A lot of theatrical terms of releases have been changing, particularly since January. The OTT windows have gone short. There has been increased share that cinema owners are now giving the producers. At least it happened with Master. So what sort of release plans is being chalked out for Roohi?
So I think the multiplexes and us met, and it was a very collaborative meeting. See, we must understand that the multiplexes have also bled. So it was not a, they say these negotiations go on for long. I was not sitting with them trying to say that, listen, we're getting X money from digital or we can go OTT. The meeting was, we are releasing in theatres and what's the fair solution?
True.
And when you sit with that approach and the other person senses that there's no, this is not like, I believe they've also bled. So and if we wanted to make lots of money, we should have thought the other ways. But there is, like I said, we've been built by theatres. If these films run, we will hopefully make even more.
So what are the release plans for your 2 other films, Mimmi and Shiddat, like?
So the idea, they are meant for theatrical. So obviously if, we release Roohi now, then in May we'll, bring Mimmi. In somewhere after 2 or 3 months we'll bring Shiddat. And there's another film we finished shooting called Hum Do Hamare, which will come towards the end of the year. So hopefully we'll have 4 films this calendar year in theatres.
That's a great slate and great news for the cinema owners specifically.
The intent is to have all of them as theatricals.
Speaking of theatres, a lot of single screen owners have had bad time in the last 1 year.
Both. Even multiplexes are being shut.
But multiplexes, over here it's sole proprietor. Individuals.
Do you think the trailer you saw can bring people to single screens?
I think horror is a genre which is loved by the single screen audience and not really explored much in Bollywood. And considering it's coming on Mahashivratri, which is more of a holiday celebrated in the interiors, people will come in to watch the film. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what is in it for us and the single screens.
Do the 2 of you expect the dynamics of business to change in the post-COVID times in terms of Bollywood films?
It's changing. It's already changed according to me. It's not changing. There is a there's a certain evolution in the kind of content. The audience has become very savvy. They've been exposed to world content and world cinema. So we just have to pick up our game. There cannot be. I don't think anything that's below the mark is going to perform. People's bar is very high. So we need to come with stuff that you're extremely confident about and that can stand on an international format. Like, you know, I can't say much about his show, but the way he shot it, it's on par with anything else.
Correct. Okay.
So you got to just pull up your socks.
And you have Fukrey 3 lined up with.
Yeah.
So much has been spoken about that film. Could you tell us what's happening finally as to when do you plan to start? And
We're starting in April, first week. The prep is going on for that simultaneously.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we'll be hitting the floors in April. So
He looks very sweet, but the amount of work he puts in, so he's been prepping in the day, going for the mix in the evening.
Oh.
So he's somebody who can put more hours than most people I know.
talking about sequel, there is another sequel of yours which is keenly awaited. That's Go Goa Gone. What's happening on that?
So we were writing it, but what happened was that, you know, we need to get it right on paper. So Gautam, in fact, the guy who's written Roohi is writing it.
Oh, okay.
So it's in the writing stage, but because we had all these films to release, so hopefully next year we should be able to make it.
Okay. What are your expectations from you, Roohi, in terms of box office? It's going to be a case study for all of us, I'm sure.
I have this very strong feeling it will surprise all of us, and I hope and pray for that.
Okay. I think that must be coming from the content of the film that.
And from, you know, the fact that, you know, like these days the way things are, if you do something that is has the right intention, it generally will give you back. How much, when, what are different things which are not in our hand. But I have a feeling that, you know, Mrighdeep and Hardik have made a very, very good film, and I feel it should get its due, and you know, with God's grace, it will.
What do you have to say about your expectation in terms of box office?
see, that's why I think he's answered that question. I mean, I don't have a different opinion on that. I mean, see, we can like talk numbers and stats and all of that, but as you said that it's going to be a case study. It can surprise us, hopefully in a good way. So, but I think, I mean, there is no number you can put to it.
Yeah.
So once we kind of put the print out, we'll know
Correct.
it by in 2-3 days.
Correct. Thank you so much.
My
It was a
pleasure.
pleasure talking to you.
Hi, my name is Dinesh Vijan.
Mrighdeep here. Hi everyone.
We're releasing a film called Roohi in theaters on
11th March.
Mahashivratri, and please come and see it. And if you like this video, please share, subscribe, and
Comment.
comment on Pinkvilla.